And that squirrel gave me chills, and that story in my mind that is giving me chills more than anything right now. I want to tell a story today. Story about describing the only dangerous experience we have had after coming to Canada. This story goes back to our road trip which we had this May, right after graduating. And that was a road trip all the way from Toronto to Vancouver, and it was like 5,000-kilometer road trip. So it was a big deal for us. And I wasn't sure that I will be telling this story today. So it was totally unplanned, just like that trip. And right before 10 minutes, that story was nowhere in my mind. The reason behind why I chose this place to tell a story is, this place reminds me exactly the experience we have had on that trip, which was a bit of a dangerous, which could have been dangerous, but eventually things worked out and we were totally fine. So let me start. What we used to do was, like, first of all, when it comes to on day, we would wander, we would explore places which come across all the coast, beaches, national parks, and anything, like, anything which is a landmark or anything which can be explored, right? So we used to do that on daytime. But when it comes to night, like, where we will be spending night. So I'll be very straight for this. What we used to do was, like, first of all, we would search for a free campsite, and if we don't succeed at that, we would search for cheap campsites, and if we don't succeed for that, we would car camp in free parking, right? So that was the thing. We did not want to spend huge amount of money on accommodation, like hotels, motels and stuff. So we were totally fine in doing car camping. Like, it was a sedan car, and it was a very big car to accommodate all three of us. We were more than fine. It was very comfortable to spend night in a car like that. So it was not a big issue for us. But, like, if we used to bring a tent with us on first day itself, we camped in our tent and we went to a campsite. It was a very good experience. It wasn't a free campsite, it wasn't a cheap campsite, but it was what it was priced for. Alright, I'm wearing like 4-5 layers, and this is our setup tonight. We are camping in Sault Ste. Marie, Northern Ontario. It's near to Thunder Bay. It's pretty cold in here. It's going to be crazy, and it was a nice experience. But after that, like, it was going to be a 6-day trip, and we weren't, like, obviously we weren't up to spending a lot of money on hotels, and we weren't up to spending a lot of money on campsites, like, which would do nothing but just let us set up our camp there, our tent there, right? On second day, it was much of a struggle to find a campsite. There is this site which lists all the campsites, like, according to its price range and stuff. So we used to explore that site, and that squirrel gave me chills, and that story in my mind that is giving me chills more than anything right now. We ended up finding one campsite which was listed as free campsite, and we decided to go there, right? There were like 2 or 3 people who have reviewed that site, and we thought, like, this would be a good option for us to go there, right? We have seen some pictures on Google, and it was more than good for us. So we opted for it, like, let's try this out. It was around 6 or 7 p.m, so it was going to be dark in like 1 hour. So we put that address on maps, and we started driving for that, right? So first of all, it was a very good road, a highway kind of road. All things were going really fine with us. But after like some time, GPS told us to take a right turn, and according to GPS we took right turn, and we kept going. We kept driving, and things were normal. At first, like, we thought it's a campsite, right? So it's not going to be on a normal residential kind of area, right? It's obviously going to be in a jungle kind of area. Most of the time it's in a jungle kind of area, right? So what GPS was saying, like 12 or 15 minutes to reach that campsite, and it was getting a bit dark, and we kept going and nothing was coming. Like, it was very gravel road and nothing was there, absolutely nothing was there. And after like 5 minutes, we saw 2 or 3 guys in their ATV. They were like, you know, they were racing and stuff. Only 3 people were there in their ATVs, and we were fine. Like, you know, people do those kind of things here, right? They go in some jungle and they do those ATV and stuff. So we were fine with that. And we, according to GPS, we just kept going, and after another 3 minutes, nothing but a cemetery comes. No residential area, nothing. Just a jungle and a cemetery and an evening time. Only 3 of us were there. It was totally peace. It was totally calm. It was... I'm getting goosebumps while describing that experience, man. But, you know, we stopped music. Like, when a pack of chips make some sound, we would get frightened, right? Like, what happened? So all 3 of us held tight, and, you know, we just kept going. Like, you know, some people would be there, and just, you know, we just kept going with hope that there would be some people, right? All we wanted to, in those 5 minutes, all we wanted was to just see some people, right? You know, so that we can feel free, we can feel safe there, right? But no one came, nothing was there, nothing, just a gravel road, and we just kept going. And I remember this very exactly, that when we were just 2 minutes away from the destination, on the road there was a very big dig, and in no ways our car was able to pass the dig, you know. And if we would have been stuck in that dig, I don't know what could have happened at that time, but we just stopped the car, and we thought that let's just put some wood or stones in this dig, and let's just, you know, fill it so that our car can easily pass this, right? So 2 of us came out and we started filling that dig. You know, it took us some time, but eventually we managed to fill that dig, and our car was easily able to pass that dig, right, without any damage or without getting stuck. And we just kept going, and I remember that when we were just 1 minute away from our destination, the GPS told us to take another right turn, where the right turn was not possible at all. You know, I don't know why GPS was saying us to take a right turn, but we were supposed to do that. Otherwise we were just, you know, otherwise we would have been just going and finding nothing. We could have ended up getting nothing, and it was getting dark in there, right? It was like we were just 15 or 20 minutes away from the sunset, and all we thought, let's do it, right? But what we saw was, you know, I can tell you with utmost confidence that, you know, that was the right decision I've made in my life. And while we came back, what we have noticed was 20 or 30 people in their ATV.